Okay, good morning. So we are doing the streaming one of the last of the year. Tomorrow will be the last one. Today is the 29th of December 2022. So as I said just before in the trading room, we have had a divergence here on Euro USD versus DXY, which is showing a little bit of strengthening of the euro across the other pairs, the euro USD, I mean the euro itself across the other instrument, which means the euro USD across the other USD pairs that are components of the DXY, so like the cable or the UG, etc., etc. So it's an information that tells us euro is performing better at this point of time of the day. So that's interesting to know. Most of the time, it has a reaction quite soon on the price action, which means we see the euro USD bouncing. Sometimes it doesn't react immediately, but it's giving us an early signal. Then we can see in some cases another push lower. I'm not saying it will happen now, but it's possible. And then from the next push lower, we see a move sooner or later on the side where we are inside the divergence. So it's now a few minutes before the open. You see we are starting to bounce. I was just explaining, we could see that. Very good. Oh, nice. Perfect. So we are starting to see this bounce. We are long from 106.12 here, and yesterday from there. So we are long here. I did a lot because I was seeing this divergence and because I was expecting something to happen. At the same time, we had DXY mostly in a good place. I will bank some right now on the euro USD long. Okay, I have 4 positions. I'm banking one here for 12, I think. Sorry, I was not ready to. I even didn't look. So yes, plus 12. I post it. And I bank 1/4 of my positions. Okay, so London open in 2 seconds now. Okay, we are opening. So we'll see if we get a continuation or not. As usually, now it could be against the actual trend. So we need to see what happened with the low in place here inside the next 10 minutes, which is 9:10 ECT or 8:10 GMT. And then we see if we have some continuation. We saw, as I said earlier, we saw yesterday this move on the New York Open, a little bit aggressive on the downside. And the reason is simple, is that many are looking for a correction on the euro USD inside the end of month flow, end of year and end of quarter, because of the drop of the DXY we have seen in the last weeks. DXY lost mostly 10% of his value. So many are looking for a correction of that move, which is not, in my opinion, absolutely evident we will get it, but that's what they are expecting to see. If we look at the DXY, speaking about it now, if we look at this simple chart, I posted it, I think, 2 weeks ago when, no, I posted it, we were here, so it was on, yes, even a month ago. When we walk through the 2140, you can find it in the trading room. And I had wrote exactly what is here, which was if we had a close under the 2360 at 104.37, then we would be looking for at 98. That would be the next target after breaking this one and closing under it. And that is what we had this week. So, I mean, last week, this week open, we have slightly, but we have closed under it last week. Okay, so now it's the end of year, so we could see some weird moves. We could have seen even a bounce higher inside the end of year flows. They started yesterday. We can see some flows today still again on the New York Open or tomorrow. Of course, we have to be extra careful because of that reasons. So even if we look higher, I will still look to short because unless we have a big surprise, we should close back anyway, whatever happens under this 2360 on Friday. So it's a yearly close. We could see something a little bit aggressive, but I really expect to see a clear close under it, which would post a yearly close under this 2360 fib, which would be really very, very good because then we would be looking for the 38. So that's, if you look at the yearly candle for now, it's not really bullish, as we can see. It doesn't mean we won't bounce in the beginning of the year and then pull back under it. But what will be signed, what will be done by the end of the year, but by the year close will be very important for us because that will give us strong information for next year. So that's what we look for. So you see that, let me check if we have some other cases. So we have a big week here. We didn't post a big week before, but you see that even this year here, there was a week, we closed there, then we had an open here. On the open, we went back nearly to the previous year highs, and then we collapsed from it. So that's something we can very well see at the beginning of next year. We can see some bounce. I don't think it will be very big because of the data we have every day or every week about the weakening of the US economy. So that's not something which is, of course, bullish for the euro. So that's where we are now. We can look at it a little bit closely now, and you see that we have been struggling around this area this morning. So concerning Dixie, we come back to our work charts. It's not this one, it's that one. So what happened since yesterday? This is the New York Open move. We went up to the previous price gap. We have a lot of gaps. This is one, this is another one, and another one. We have a lot of gaps actually on the Dixie, which is telling us something too about the price action. So now the Dixie is struggling on the weekly pivot we have there. Then we have this technical gap of last week, which is not a real gap, the yellow one, because it's because we didn't have data on the first day, the Monday, because everything was closed. So it's not a real gap. I don't like it so much, but it's there anyway. So we need to break back under this weekly pivot. Then we have the weekly open, blah, 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 daily pivot, and we go back lower if we can see a continuation of that move, which is what I would expect and would be happy to see it. Concerning the rest, we go back to the Euro USD now. So we are now breaking above the quarterly block, the 1272 extension here. We are still looking for 108, so it will happen. I don't know. I'm not sure we will get it this year, but the year is finished. The day is finished tomorrow, so that won't give us a lot of time. But we could see an ugly move, well, ugly for the shorts, but nice for us. So we could see an ugly move. Anyway, I stay long even at the beginning of the year. We will be long looking for a touch. We want this area to be taken, and then we will short it here because we will see a pullback from that area, and that's what I'm looking for by the end of. But well, ideally, I would have loved to see that by the end of the year, and then a pullback starting on beginning of the year. But we'll see. Anyway, it's not a lot. If we look at what the moves we had, it's 150 pips. So 150 pips is something that Euro USD can do in 2 days without any problem, looking at the volatility we have now. So anyway, we'll see that. We will bank some on the way up. Like now, I'm banking a little bit more here on this 2360 fib. So this 2360 is that, let me go back to the ABC. Okay, so this is actually the new ABC. We had an ABC in place yesterday here. Now the new lows with the little bit push down we had yesterday has posted this new C level. So same as yesterday, till we keep this one, we look for the continuation up to the 61.8 here, the 100% extension, and then the 200% extension would be exactly the 108 area. So nothing has changed dramatically since yesterday, but we had great opportunity to get long with more size here yesterday and here this morning. So that's what we have. I'm banking here on the 4-hour 2021 EMA. Okay, for 18 pips. So you all know this is live, so I'm trading at the same time, posting it in the trading room. Okay, I took another 4, so I am now running half of what I had this morning from the lows when we took the long at 106.12. Okay, so if you have any question, let me know. If not, we just wait a few more minutes to see what happened by the 8:10 times place, which is important for us. You see, we are struggling. We are slowing down a little bit right here on the daily pivot together with the 4-hour 2021 EMA together with this moving average, which is the 1-hour 100 moving average. This is the 4-hour 2021 here. You see it. And we went through the 1 hour already here. So what is interesting to observe here is the start of that move inside the London Open. And what would be nice is that we could see a continuation right now. A little bit of acceleration even would be very good to blow those levels and come back in this area. That would be really great, because that could be the start of a move that could see continuation on a little bit higher and even take yesterday high. So you saw that yesterday we took the day before highs, so we went higher. We kept mostly the same lows that we had. We just took some stops under it for about, let me check how many pips we went lower. So if we look at that, we went only 5 pips lower, so it's a very small stop hunt, but it's there and enough to scare people. So, and now we are bouncing back from the same area that we had here. We have been long here. So I will duplicate that one, because we are long again here. It looks like things are repeating themselves. So that's what we have done in the past day, the trade we have had in the past day. I didn't took that short. I could have taken it, but I want to be focused on the long side, so I didn't took it, just to avoid some noise in my trading. But and we had a long here too. Yes, yesterday night when we took the long here. Okay, so you see how well we have been respecting the 38.2 fib. It's a very important fib, as well as the 2360 on the Dixie. And you see we have had this accumulation at this level. We just took some stops here, and now we bounced back, came back on the 38.20 fib, and now it looks like we're on the way where we could take against the highs here. We have a first area that could be perhaps the top of the year. The top by the end of the year. If we cannot find traction, this area here where we have the 227 extension with the 61.8, 64.8, 61.8, sorry, what I'm saying, 61.8 fib over there. We have a year-to-date block there. So this area is definitely an important area. We could even extend it a little bit, but we have a lot of resistance there with this monthly pivot, monthly resistance there. So that's something we need to keep an eye on. Even if we go there today and we could come back in that area today, we would probably see some sellers there for sure, depending on the time when it happens. If that happens by the New York Open, for sure, we would see some sellers at this time. So data-wise, to finish with this morning streaming, data-wise for today, we have, sorry. We have, so the Spanish retail came at -0.6 versus +1. That was the forecast, but you see it has not made a lot of change on the market. It was right on the London Open, and despite this data, the euro is keeping going up. The data at this point of the time of the year is not so important. It can only be used by market to do what you want it to do, whatever happens. So today, the important data is here, is jobless claims. So it's a weekly data that we have. So we'll see if we get better or worse than the previous reading, which is what we want to see. The previous reading was probably 215. No, that's the lowest we had this year. So I need to check on the other one. I will post it in the training group. But we will keep an eye on that at 1:30 GMT when we will get this data. Besides that, there is not a lot of things to say, the gas and crude oil, but that's not really relevant for us. Okay, so if you have questions, you just let me know. If not, we go back to the trading room and we close this recording first. Okay.